I'm Daphne and I'm a 32-year-old woman. All right, let me tell you about my life and how I managed to stay true to myself despite the constant criticisms from my ex-husband, Theory, and my mother-in-law, Susan. So I'm a woman who's proud of her career in pottery projects. It's not the typical 9 to 5 job, but it's my passion and I absolutely love what I do. Sure, I might not be rolling in money like some of my friends, but I've achieved success in my niche area and that's what matters to me. Theory and Susan, on the other hand, have never really understood my work. They thought it was childish and not a real job, whatever that means. It was disheartening to hear them make snide comments about my passion, but I refused to let it get to me. You see, pottery projects were more than just a job to me. It was a form of art, a way to express myself, and I took pride in creating unique pieces. But Theory and Susan didn't seem to see it that way. They thought I should be doing something more professional and respectable. It didn't help that Susan, due to her physical disability, had to live with us. I tried my best to be understanding and accommodating, but it was hard when she kept judging my choices and making me feel inadequate. Theory, my husband, wasn't much better. He would often bring up the fact that my friends were all high-earning professionals while I was just playing around with clay. It hurt to hear him belittle my passion like that. You know, I was talking to some of my friends the other day and they were talking about their wives and their careers. Oh, yeah? What were they saying? Well, you know, most of their wives have these high-paying jobs and successful careers. It's got me thinking about us. What do you mean? I mean, compared to them, your career is a bit, well, odd. You know, working with pottery and all that, it's not exactly the typical high-paying job. Are you saying that my job is less valuable just because it doesn't make as much money? No, that's not what I meant. I just meant that, you know, it's a bit embarrassing sometimes when people ask what you do, and I have to tell them you're a potter. Embarrassing? You're embarrassed by my passion and my hard work? No, it's not like that. I'm proud of you and what you've achieved. It's just that sometimes I wish you had a more conventional job, you know. So you're saying that you'd rather I give up my passion and do something I don't love just to fit into your idea of a perfect wife? I just wish people would see how amazing you are and not judge you based on your job. But you're the one judging me, Theory. You're the one who's embarrassed by my career. I guess I just wish people would see it the way I do. It was a lame excuse for an apology or trying to be supportive, as he was claiming, but stupidly at the time, I let it slide. I regret doing that because later on, I learned how he felt about it. One evening, I had just finished working on a particularly intricate pottery piece when I overheard Theory and Susan talking in the living room. Their voices were hushed, but I could still make out what they were saying. Theory chuckled and said, "Can you believe she spends all day playing with clay? I mean, come on, that's not a real job." Susan joined in and said, "I know, right? It's like she's stuck in some child's playtime while the rest of us are out there making a real living." Their words stung and I felt my heart sink. I knew they didn't understand my passion, but to hear them belittle my job behind my back hurt more than I expected. I took a deep breath and decided to confront them. Walking into the living room, I put on a brave face and said, "Hey, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. I just want to remind you that pottery projects are my career, and it means a lot to me. It might not be the traditional 9 to 5, but it's what I love doing." Theory looked taken aback, and Susan tried to backpedal. "Oh, sweetie, we didn't mean to offend you. It's just that we worry about your future and financial security." I shook my head, trying to stay composed. "I appreciate your concern, but I'm doing well in my field. My work is gaining recognition and I'm proud of my accomplishments. I wish you could see that." Theory seemed uncomfortable when he said, "Look, Daphne, we just want what's best for you. We're not trying to put you down, but we worry about the stability of your job." I sighed, feeling a mix of frustration and hurt. I understand that, but it's my passion and I'm willing to take the risks. I've worked hard to get where I am and I won't let your doubts hold me back. We're just looking out for you, dear. It's not that we don't support you, but we want to see you thrive in a more traditional career. I appreciated their concern, but it was clear that they didn't truly understand my passion. Instead of arguing further, I decided to let my success speak for itself. In the following months, as my pottery projects gained more recognition and I received invitations to showcase my work in art exhibitions, I noticed the change in Fiery and Susan's attitudes. They began to acknowledge my talent, though their support still felt hesitant. I knew I couldn't change their views entirely, but I hoped that with time they would come to understand and respect my career choice. But you know what? I didn't let their negativity deter me. I loved my job, and that was all that mattered. I knew I was good at what I did, and I had the respect of my colleagues and clients. That's all the validation I needed. Whenever they made snarky comments, I would just smile and shrug it off. I knew they didn't understand my passion, and that was fine. I didn't need their approval to be happy. And you know what's even more amazing? My pottery project started gaining more recognition. I started getting featured in magazines and art exhibitions. My unique style and authentic approach to my work were finally getting the attention they deserved. Of course, Fiery and Susan couldn't ignore the success forever. They might not have fully appreciated my work, but they couldn't deny that it was bringing in money. And that seemed to be the only thing that made them somewhat okay with my career choice. As the years went by, I continued to excel in my field. I learned to tune out their negative comments and focus on what truly mattered, my passion and happiness. It wasn't always easy, but I was determined to stay true to myself. I had my ups and downs, but my dedication and hard work paid off. I was able to carve a niche for myself in the pottery world, and I couldn't have been prouder. Well, guess what, folks? All of my hard work and dedication paid off. Oh man, let me tell you what happened next. So after all of that hard work and finally getting a major investor interested in my pottery, I was over the moon. The investor told me he'd pay me $3,000 a week for my work, and I was thrilled. I mean, that's some serious cash. I couldn't wait to share the news with Fiery and Susan. I thought they'd be proud of me and finally see the value in what I do. So when I got home, I was practically bursting with excitement. But as soon as I mentioned the $3,000, they cut me off right away. Hey guys, you won't believe what happened today. I got a big break in my pottery career. I was telling you all about it, remember? Oh, right, that investor guy. What happened? Well, he said he'd pay me $3,000. $3,000? That can't be right. No, let me finish. He said he'd pay $3,000. $3,000 as a salary is a joke, Daphne. How ridiculous. No, it's not a joke. Pottery is my passion, and this investor sees the value in my art. It's a real opportunity for me, and besides, it's not what you're thinking. A real opportunity? Come on, Daphne. This is ridiculous. You need to be realistic. You'll never make it big with pottery. These two were getting on my nerves, trying to speak over me and diminish my accomplishments. For some reason, they just didn't want to hear me when I wanted to tell them that I'd be making $3,000 per week. They kept cutting me off. But now that I had ground their gears, I wanted to hear how they felt. They assumed it was my monthly or yearly salary or something, and boy, were they not impressed. They started shouting at me, telling me that my job was stupid and useless. Can you believe that? It was like a punch to the gut. It's not about making it big or being rich. I love what I do. And this offer means I can sustain myself doing what I'm passionate about. Sustain yourself? You're 32, Daphne. It's time to grow up and get a real job, not some childish pottery nonsense. It's not childish nonsense. Pottery is a legitimate career, and I've worked hard to get to where I am. Why can't you just support me? Because we know better, Daphne. You're wasting your time and talent on something that will never work out. You don't understand. This is my passion, my dream. I thought you both would be happy for me, but all you do is belittle my work. Your work will never be enough. You should have focused on something more practical and profitable. This is my life, and I won't let you two dictate what I should do. I'm proud of my career, and I won't let your negativity bring me down. Well, good luck with your little pottery fantasy, but don't come crying to us when it all falls apart. They went on about how they had to be honest about where our relationship stands now that I wasn't making the big bucks. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. All this time, they never really appreciated the hard work I put in, or how much I loved what I did. I felt so unappreciated and hurt. It's not like I was trying to be rich or anything. I just wanted them to understand and support me, but instead, they were just focused on the money and couldn't see the passion and fulfillment my work brought me. Then, they said something that I would never forget. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Theory and Susan were telling me that they didn't care about our relationship anymore because I might not make as much money as they expected. It was like they were putting a price tag on our marriage. Look, Daphne, we've been thinking about this for a while now. If you're not going to be making the money we thought, then there's no real reason for us to stay together. That's right. We can't be associated with someone who's going to be struggling financially. It's just not acceptable. To say I was shocked would be an understatement. Are you serious? You want a divorce just because of money? It's not just about money, but it's a big part of it. I mean, I've been wanting a divorce for a while, but I thought your income would at least make things easier for me financially. I can't believe you're doing this. I thought we had a real connection, a real relationship. Well, relationships change, Daphne. And if you can't provide the lifestyle we want, then there's no point in staying together. So, it was all about money for you two? You never really cared about me, just what I could bring to the table? I mean, it's not the only factor, but it's a significant one. I can't believe I married someone who values money more than love and connection. I'm disgusted. Love doesn't pay the bills, Daphne. You'll understand that one day. Well, I'd rather have love and passion for my work than a marriage based on materialism and greed. Fine, have it your way. I'll file for divorce and we can all move on with our lives. Good riddance, Brokey. As Theory and Susan left the room, I felt a mix of emotions. I was hurt, angry, heartbroken, but I also felt a sense of relief. I realized that I deserved better than to be with someone who only cared about money and didn't appreciate me for who I truly was. It was time for me to focus on my career and my passion and surround myself with people who truly valued and supported me. As painful as it was, this divorce was a chance for me to embrace my authentic self and find happiness on my own terms. After I left the house, I had a mix of emotions, hurt, anger, and relief. Theory and Susan seemed kind of embarrassed and guilty for how they treated me, but it was too late to take back their words. The damage was done, and I was ready to move on. I called up my lawyer friend right away to speed up the divorce process. I wanted to be free from Theory and his toxic mom ASAP. Luckily, we both agreed on a mutual divorce with no alimony involved. Theory and Susan were surprised and laughed, thinking I'd be homeless without their money, but I reassured them that I'd be just fine. So we all sat down in that lawyer's office ready to sign the divorce papers. Theory and Susan looked so darn pleased with themselves, like they were finally getting rid of the crazy me. Well, I wasn't going to let their smugness get to me, especially since I had a lovely surprise for them once I'd finished signing the papers. When I finished signing, they jumped for joy, saying they were free from my antics. Finally, we're done with all this stupid drama. Free at last. Oh, thank goodness, no more dealing with her and her weird pottery stuff. You know, you both seem really happy about this divorce. Well, wouldn't you be? Now we can move on with our lives without your eccentricities. Well, I guess the feeling is mutual. Oh, please don't try and act like you don't need us, especially now that you're broke. Oh, trust me, I'm more than happy to be rid of you two clowns. Clowns? How rude. Rude? Maybe, but I don't mind being rude to people who are beneath me. Beneath you? What? Are you stupid and deaf? Okay, enlighten us then. Well, for starters, I've got some pretty exciting news. You see, that night when I told you I'd be making $3,000, you didn't let me finish my sentence. I'll be making $3,000 per week. Fiery and Susan's jaws practically hit the floor. Their faces went pale as they realized the mistake they made. The kind of money I'd be making could afford me a whole new life and easily cover Susan's medical expenses. Talk about a mic drop moment. I couldn't help but savor the shock on their faces. It felt so darn good to turn the tables on them. I was finally free from their toxic attitudes and the constant belittling of my passion. Wait, $3,000 a week? Are you serious? Yep, dead serious. But we thought you were going to be poor without us. Yeah, you both seem to have a habit of underestimating me. I mean, it's just that pottery, it's not a stable career. Pottery is my passion, and I've turned it into a successful business. Guess you missed that part. We didn't realize. Yeah, you didn't realize. You never took the time to understand or appreciate my work. You were too busy belittling it. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just thought... You thought wrong. You both thought wrong about a lot of things. Daphne, we didn't know. We were just worried. Worried? You were worried that your precious image would be tarnished by having a wife with a strange career. Well, guess what? You lost more than just a wife and a daughter-in-law today. Good luck paying all those medical bills without me. Daphne, Save it. It's too late now. I've moved on, and I'm happier without you both in my life. Both of you are pathetic. God damn it. Fiery and Susan exchanged glances, looking regretful for their actions, but I had already made up my mind. Even if I changed it, the divorce papers were already signed. That was the sweet part of this all. Both Fiery and Susan had to just accept the fact that they threw a good woman away. I stood up, ready to face my new life without them. Susan made a sad attempt at crying. I guess she was trying to gain sympathy. It was actually quite hilarious. That's when I couldn't help but laugh right in their faces, fascinated at how cruelty can lead to downright stupidity. As I walked out of that office, I held my head high, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. I was ready to embrace my new life, one where I wouldn't be dragged down by their negativity. And you know what? Life without Fiery and Susan turned out to be pretty damned amazing. I focused on my pottery work, pouring my heart and soul into it, and you know what they say? Do what you love and the money will follow. Well, it sure did for me. My pottery project started gaining traction and I started getting more and more clients. That $3,000 per week turned out to be just the beginning. I was earning even more than that, and I was damn proud of it. I moved into a cozy little apartment and I finally felt at peace. I surrounded myself with supportive friends who appreciated my work and encouraged me to keep going. Meanwhile, Fiery and Susan were left to deal with the consequences of their actions. I heard through the grapevine that Fiery's finances took a hit because he squandered it on some shifty business deals. I guess he was trying to get rich quickly and it didn't pay off. The sad part was that Susan was struggling with her medical bills. Part of me wanted to feel some satisfaction in their misfortune, but I realized that I had moved on from all that drama. I was too busy building my own happiness to waste any more energy on them. So the moral of the story is, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because someone's career doesn't fit your idea of success doesn't mean they aren't making bank. And sometimes the people who look down on you end up eating their words. Life is too short to be weighed down by toxic people. Find your passion, embrace it, and surround yourself with those who uplift and support you. Trust me, it's a recipe for happiness and success.